All right, we'll now open the questions for Coach Self. Front right.
Hey, Coach. Davis Domestic, the Crimson. Congrats on the win yesterday. You said in the post-game presser you were very happy not to face Buckyball anytime soon, but the round of 32 brings a different team of Bulldogs to the table, and that's Gonzaga. You and Coach Few go back a long time. How are you preparing for this game, and what strikes you about this iteration of the Zags?
Mark and I go back a long time. We were actually born on the very same day, you know, that's the one pleasantry we exchange every year is, you know, happy birthday. But it's a different challenge because Gonzaga, you know, has scored actually more points even per game than Samford has this year, but they do it conventionally. You know, they do it by more conventional transition or half-court offense or defense, and so that tells you how good they are offensively to be able to do that. I think they're, with all the metrics, I think they'll rate out, and then everyone's top 10 and everything offensively, and they play inside out, and they're a terrific rebounding team, and so we've obviously got our hands full and know it'll be a stiff challenge.
Front left.
Gary Bedore, Casey Starr. The 1:15 start, what challenges does that present, and what do you think of it? And has this ever happened to you before?
I've done this a long time, and I can't remember what I had for dinner last night, so I can't remember if it's happened before. But you know, the 1 day breaks in between are always tough. But this is a little extreme, I think, to get out of here at midnight and then play, you know, that soon the next day. You know it's hard. It's going to be difficult for everybody. I think Arizona and is playing, you know, 2.5 hours before us. So, you know, their wake-up call will be at 7 or whatever time. So, but the difficult thing is after a late night, and of course we had to extend all the energy we had to win the game. After a late night, now we're going to prepare for a team that's terrific, and we'll have a 20-minute walkthrough. You know, because we got to keep our guys off their feet. So that's the challenge in the second game of a 2-game tournament, and also the challenge of a Saturday Monday in the Big 12. So hopefully that will help prepare us for what we've got to do.
Okay, front right.
Hey, Coach. Eddie Pels with AP. Last night's ending was a little wacky, but even if you put that aside, do you have any strong feelings either way about, you know, whether you'd like to see a coach get a replay review at the end of a game on a call?
No,
like that?
No, I don't, because, you know, the thing about it is, I thought, if you're referring to the block on Nick, I thought it was clean. But there's also some calls, you know, KJ got the crap fouled out of him on his dunk there at the end too. So that goes both ways. You know, the thing about basketball, it's comprised of human beings that actually. You know, at times could miss something. Players miss something. Officials can miss something. I actually think the replay reviews should handle most of this. But in our game last night, and I think in other games, you're going to the replay. It seems like, you know, every call in the last 2 minutes, which also extends the game. But you know, we were fortunate with that one call. There's no question. But there's 100 calls throughout a game.
Middle left.
Henry Greenstein, Lawrence Journal World. Hunter was talking about Graham Ike as one of the best big men he's had to go up against all year. Just what will require out of him to do well in that matchup?
I think he's as good a low post big guy we played against for sure. I think you know, not letting him be as comfortable doing what he likes to do and how he naturally scores. You know, he's great at getting low post position. He's good at sealing. He's good at, you know, he score over both shoulders, but, you know, obviously prefers right shoulder, just like Hunt. So there's going to be some things that we'll try to do to maybe take away some things that are just so natural for him to go to. But, you know, that's also easier said than done. But he's a good talent, really good talent.
Back right.
Bill Bahi Gregorian, Kansas City Star. With Nick last night, I don't know if you learned anything new about him, but it hasn't probably been the season he had necessarily envisioned. What enabled him to come through last night, and how much do you need similar sort of production from him tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we need guys to step up and make shots, and Nick's a good shooter. There's no question, Vahe. The thing that's the most impressive about Nick to me is it hasn't gone great for him. To his own admission, he knows it's not saying anybody's done anything wrong or anything like that. His attitude is great, and you hear that old coach speak. Well, keep your head right because your number will be called, and if your head's not right, you're not going to be able to perform. His head is right, and I think that's the biggest thing you need to know about him. He's a winner, and certainly you can tell more about who is and who maybe is not going through tough times as it is going through good times, and he's got the right attitude every day that when and if his number's called, he'll be prepared to play his best, regardless of what the outcome is, and that's certainly the case last night.
Staying in the back right.
Hey, Bill, Josh Weinfuss, ESPN. What makes Hunter such a good passer?
I think there's a lot of things. He's got great hands. I mean, great hands. He's got vision like a guard. And the other thing, he's tall. He can see over things. He made a couple of plays in transition that were long passes. In the pass I was referring to KJ there at the end, in large part because he's 7 foot tall and he can see over people. He's being trapped or guarded by a guard in the backcourt, and he can see over that. But he's got great feel. I mean, Hunt's got as good a feel as any big guy that I've been around, and certainly I can't remember us ever having a guy that passed it like him from the pivot position.
Right here.
Coach, before this presser, we had Johnny and Elmarco up here. They're both freshmen. You've coached a lot of freshmen in March over the years. From a coach's eyes, how important is it for your freshmen to get that first tournament win under their belt?
I think it is important. I think it's a different pressure. I'll go back to this. When my second or third year here, we had, Rush, Chalmers, Julian Wright. We had some good players. And they were all freshmen. And that freshman team won like 12 of the last 13 to win the league, and then we won the conference tournament. And we're cooking. We're on a high tick. And I remember going to the NCAA tournament, and we're playing Bradley. And the game before ours went overtime. And in that 15 extra minutes that you're in there because of overtime, the mood totally changed. It goes from playing music to being loose to now, oh my God, we're getting ready to go out there, and it delayed it and everything, and we played as tight as could be. So I do think getting that first one under your belt for a young player is very important.
Middle right there, please.
Cole Forsman, Sports Illustrated Fan Nation Network. Coach, you guys were down there at Maui at the same time with Gonzaga. I don't know how much you got to see of them, but how much of growth have you seen from them over the course of the season, and you guys as well? How much has changed since Maui?
We're not the same team as we were then, strictly from a personnel standpoint, because obviously, Kevin's not out there with us. But we have had some guys, get better, but it's not the same looking team, nor is Gonzaga the same looking team. I don't know when it was with Mark's group, but they were never playing poorly in my eyes. They played a really good schedule. And when you play a really good schedule and you don't play well on certain nights, you may lose that game. But it seems like to me, since about the Kentucky game, and I don't know if that's the exact game, but it just looks like to me that's the Gonzaga team of the past playing. So, people will look at them. I mean, we talked about that today. Can you believe there was actually talk that they may not get in a month ago? And it's ridiculous. And now they're playing fantastic. But that's how good they've been in the last month. And I think they've tweaked some personnel changes and stuff like that. But the bottom line is they're just playing like Gonzaga's known to play this time of year.
You have time for a couple more questions before our satellite window closes. Are there any more questions for Coach? Okay, right here.
Coach, when you came into this thing struggling, and then you play a team that's really not conventional, as you said. So when you boil it all down, are you able to tell how you're playing after, using last night's 40 minutes?
I'm going to choose to believe that we're on a roll. We've won one in a row. We're on a hot streak. We've won the exact same amount of games in a row that Gonzaga's won. So I'll just spin it like that. But you know what? We saw the ball go in the basket. And if you looked at when we haven't played well, we didn't see the ball go in the basket. So I'm going to say, yeah, I think last night was really good for us.
Bill, how's Parker's health?
I think he's fine. He hadn't been healthy since he turned his ankle. That's been about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I think he's moved better in practice the last couple of days. There's no limitations on him.
Okay, we have time for one more question. If there's another question here in the room. Right? Guess we're done. Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
you. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks.